Kia ora and talofa geniuses, and welcome to the Digital Warriors vidcast. In this episode, we're going to be speaking with Sarah Hankins. She is a powerhouse entrepreneur, mum of 7 and a level 9 community Skool God, which is the highest achievement in the school community. With a track record of building 6-figure businesses from scratch, Sarah combines expertise in business strategy, holistic living, and family life to help others unlock their potential. Her mastery in creating thriving, engaging communities has positioned her as a trusted advisor to school games winners and community leaders seeking sustainable growth and retention. Whether it's turning quirks into superpowers, overcoming churn, or simplifying complex challenges, Sarah brings actionable strategies and unparalleled insight to every opportunity. Let's get the conversation started.
As someone who's built multiple 6-figure businesses from scratch, what's your number one piece of advice for entrepreneurs who feel stuck defining their offer and finding their ideal client?
Don't give up. Don't give up. It's so easy to get frustrated. And even people that have been doing this for a long time, it can be frustrating still. So don't give up. The second bit of advice would be to find community, which is great if you're on Skool, because there's lots of community places that you can join in calls, join in the community space, ask questions, get feedback. I would give the caveat that, yes, it's good to join a whole bunch of spaces when you first come to Skool, but then you need to figure out who you resonate with the most and follow that one or two people, whatever. Follow those 2 people or the one person that you resonate with the most, because a lot of people fall into the trap of, oh, this person says this. Oh, this person says this. I need to do this and this. And everybody does things a little bit differently, right? And that's fine. Like, not everybody is the same. So somebody's going to resonate with this person. Somebody's going to resonate with that. So it's best just to, as soon as you can, figure out who you resonate with and follow that, and chat and hang out in their community and that kind of thing, get feedback, jump in and see how it goes for a little bit, rather than trying to like Frankenstein some sort of something together, because then that's where you feel like you're not being authentic and it doesn't feel like you, and you just feel overwhelmed and icky even more than trying to do it when you're doing it on your own.
Yeah. What's your advice on like how many, when you first get started? Because I know when I started Skool, I don't even remember, so many. And then also trying to retract after, picking who you want. Do you have sort of a number, or is it just a feeling, or how do you decide?
It's not really a number, and it's going to be different for everybody, right? Because everybody has a different threshold, right? Like, I don't have a full-time job. I've got 7 kids. I've got all this stuff going on, but I don't have a full-time job. I'm able to be at home. I'm able to check in and out. So my threshold may be different than yours, or somebody else who works full-time and has kids and is married and does this extracurricular thing. You know what I mean? So I can't give like a definite like number for anybody, but yeah. I think you just know, like, you have to give yourself some time, right? All of this takes time too. And I know everybody's really excited and gung-ho. Oh, I've got this idea. I really want to do this. I know it can work. Yes, it can. In order to find good community and where you fit, it's going to take some time, and that's okay. When you start trying to rush through things and you get in a really big hurry, that's where you hit more roadblocks and you get more frustrated. It's kind of like I've heard Hormozy and other leaders talk about, you have this expectation, right? And the expectation and the time required don't always match. You think, oh, I should be able to do this in this amount of time. And a lot of times it takes 3 times the amount of time that you think it should to, get farther or get plugged in and figure out where you fit and like who you resonate with. If you're able to, spend hours on Skool, in a day, you might find your place quicker than somebody who's only able to check in, a few times for 5 minutes throughout the day. Right. So it just is based on your comfort level and how quickly you move. Like, don't get in a hurry, do your thing. But it just depends on the time, and really like being honest with yourself too. Like, just because somebody's a big name, or if they've made this much money doing it this way, or, whatever, that doesn't mean that that's how it's going to resonate with you. And that doesn't mean that that's how it's going to work best for you. So you dip your toes in, try it, see how it goes. Don't give up too fast, because that's the other caveat too, right? If you try it and it doesn't work, that doesn't mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the wrong way. But if you try it and you feel like this pull inside that it doesn't, like, it's not authentic for you and it doesn't feel good, like, not the pushing the growth edges feel good, but like it makes you, I don't really resonate with this kind of feeling, then maybe it's time to, figure out a different way. And that's the lovely thing about school too, right? It's like, you've got a whole gamut of people that teach things different ways. If you like to go slower and take your time, there's people for that. If you want to go, bro marketing, hustle culture style, you've got that. You've got touchy feely, whatever. I'm like in between, like, I'm here to help you take action, but like, tune in within, like, let's say it's moon cycles, let's, balance everything. Like, it's not just let's hustle, because that's a good way to get burnout and give up. And I don't want that for you,
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think we're in that time now, especially moving into 2025, happy new year, by the way. And lots of people were thinking about balance and health and well-being and not exerting themselves and burning out. So yeah, those are really awesome tips. I wanted to ask you, you're a mother of 7, managing like a thriving business as a mum. Like, that's no small feat, right? So how do you stay organized with all of that and then maintain that balance between family and, your professional life?
How many people ask me how do I keep everything scheduled and organized and all of that? And then
Yeah.
I'm not a type A person. I don't do schedules and all of that. So we radically unschool our kids, so we don't use curriculum and all of that. It's very much life-led learning, because I'm a big proponent, whether you're an adult or a child. When do you learn best? Do you learn best when you're forced to learn something? Or do you learn best when you're passionate about learning something? And, oh, I really like to do this. Oh, but that means I have to learn this thing over here that I don't really want to learn. Like, that's how I've learned a lot of the tech stuff that I've learned. Like, even basics. Like, I hadn't used Google Docs or Google Drive before last summer, before I was trying to put a homeopathy resource together, and like back end stuff and email programs. Like, I've built the businesses before, but I didn't have a need for that, because it just wasn't, I built it in a different way, right? So, but because I'm passionate about how I'm doing it this time, oh, well, I need to do that this way. Okay, well, I'll learn, right? And so it's the same way with our kids. Like, we give them time, like, and when they're ready and they're passionate, they pick up something like it's nothing, right? It just comes very much more naturally and easier for them, rather than, oh, you have to learn this at a specific time, right? Okay. And then it's like fight, like tooth and nail, trying to get them to do it, right? So I'm a really big proponent of, like, we're going to foster life-led learning. And, because that's the biggest thing. If you have a love for learning, then I don't have to worry about, like, whatever you are passionate about, you're going to figure out how to learn it, right? So if they decide they want to do, heavy math, like whatever, then they'll be motivated enough to learn that. Like, they get the basics and all of that, they pick up that, but then it's more about what they're I've got a kiddo who's an adult. He has his own place at 20 and, works on fancy ass cars all day long. That was his dream, right? He decided at 14. He didn't go to trade school. He didn't go to college. He didn't do any of that. Like, he pushed a broom at 14, made friends with the head mechanic, and then just worked his way up, right? And he wants to own his own shop someday, to take care of his family and kids, have a woman take care of the shop. And like, and then that's fine. Like, whatever you all want to, do with your life, that's fine. I don't care. You have your own passion and purpose, right? And the other thing is, coming back to that question you asked me, right? How do you like balance everything? You be fully present with what you're doing with at that moment, right? So if you're working as much as possible. I will give you a caveat to this in a minute. And then if you're with your kids or your husband or your wife or like your family, you're fully present. You're not thinking about work and all this other shit you have to do later, right? You're fully present. If you're fully present, you have to go take care of the animals. You have to go make bread. You have to go do errands. Like, just be fully present in the moment. And that's more of like an internal, just a balance thing. Because when you're able to do that and because if you're not present with that moment and your mind is elsewhere, where are you really? Like, you're not fully present with what you're trying to do in this present moment. And that's all we ever have. We don't, the past is gone, the future hasn't come yet. We only have now. So that's the best that I can do. And most of the time for a lot of this stuff, for my work stuff, I have to break stuff down into very small chunks, right? Because I do stay home I have 5 kids that are still under 18, and the oldest moved back with her partner last spring. They have an apartment out on our property.
Yeah.
But like, I'm home full time. We've got animals and I've got crazy children. They're all neurospicy like me or my husband, right? So we don't have wallflower type children that just like are even keel and very quiet. Nope. So I have to be ready. Like, okay, there have been times where I've had to not on a call that I'm running, but if I'm on a call, somebody else's call or something like that, some shit hits the fan with a kid, I'm off, and I have to go take care of the kid. So there are those situations, but it's much easier this time because my youngest is 9. So like the other 2 businesses that I built, the other businesses that I had, it was when the bulk of them were much smaller and younger. So it was more difficult, and I did kind of have to put it more in blocks of chunks of time, like when my husband was home or like nap time or like, so it's a little trickier that way. But otherwise I just try to like have a variety of things that I could pick from that aren't necessarily, I'm not usually on a computer. I'm always on the mobile doing stuff for work, unless I'm running a call or doing a call like this or something else like that. So that also helps, is that I'm able to run a lot of it from my phone.
Wow, there's so many awesome things here. One of the biggest pieces I love about your answer is you talk about balance from an emotional fitness piece. And it's not necessarily about the environment and who's out there and the practicality, the emotional fitness piece. Because most people will say, get up in the morning and we'll do this, and it's a do and do and do and do. But yeah, you talking about this deep feeling piece is just really fucking awesome. Makes me love you even
It's
more.
just life fucking happens. Shit happens. Like, and I've got it like magnified, right? Because I've got the 7 kids and we're juggling all these different things, and like it shit happens. And it's better to like be able to flow with it rather than trying to fight against it when shit happens. Like, because that's when everything gets like kinked up and like clusterfucked. It's just not cool. It's not kosher. Like, this has been like, I'm 42, right? So like I've been learning this for years, especially in the last 2 in particular. So it's been a long time learning. But like, if I can share that bit and anybody else can glean that, like, to start practicing. And when you say that that's what you're going to start doing, like the universe or God or whatever will present more ways. Be like, oh, this is how you want to do this now. Okay, well, here's a way to a way to practice. Like, we're going to put this in your path and we're going to do this. And so you'll get more ways to practice and wear different like grooves in your brain, right? So the train starts moving on different tracks, but it takes time, just like with anything, and patience, and keep going, That's just, what else can you do? Like, you can get yourself all in a tizzy, but that really doesn't do you any good. It doesn't get you any further to what you want, where you want to be.
Yeah, beautiful. So holistic living is obviously a part of your life. How do you integrate that home? Is it homeopathy? Is that how you say it?
Homeopathy.
Homeopathy is, I think, my accent. And all this natural wellness and practices that you do in your routine, or I don't even know if you have a routine, especially with such a busy household. Yeah, you don't.
No, but it's very flowy. And I went through the years of like, oh, we need to do tinctures. Oh, we need to do herbs. Oh, we need to do supplements. Oh, we need to do biohacks. Oh, we need to try these diets. Oh, I've been through the years of that, right? Like, I've got a medically fragile kiddo, so like trying to like get to the bottom of what's going on and try to help and support her holistically because she still has to do the allopathic, like mainstream medicine stuff for her specific condition. And like, so like, and the way my neurospicy brain works is like, I'm going to dive deep, right? So I've been through the herbs and all of the stuff. And so, yes, we still have tinctures. Yes, we still have herbal stuff. I grow, we forage. My kids love to forage, wild herbs and whatever. We treat all our animals holistically. But as I've been on the journey the last like 4 or 5 years, in particularly the last 2 to 3 years, it's more about knowing that our bodies are made to heal. Even though like mainstream will tell you, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. And even like herbs and a lot of holistic medicine and like ways of being treat your body like mainstream does. Like, it's like, oh, you need this to fix. No, this is part of your body's healing process. Like, stop looking at your body like it's broken. Like, it's not. Yes, but these are all things that like we're not taught, right? And so a lot of the time when I talk about these things to people, they kind of are like, So it's more about like going with the flow. Like, if we get sick, a lot of like where we're at right now, it's like, oh, our bodies need to rest. Like, and there's a reason why our bodies are detoxing or doing whatever they're doing, and we need to honor that. Now, if it gets too uncomfortable or whatever, like, you can use tinctures, you can use homeopathy, like, because homeopathy is an energetic mode of medicine. My words. Modality.
Yeah.
It's an energetic
Yes.
modality, right? So it's not like
Yes.
herbs and oils and all of that stuff. So it works differently. And it's more of like, personally, like, I use homeopathy, but sometimes I use ibuprofen. You know what I mean? Like, over the counter, like if I have a headache and I'm out somewhere and I don't have homeopathy, I'm not going to look at myself, oh, well, I can't take ibuprofen because I have to take this. No, like, it's okay. And I can trust my body, and I can listen and say, oh, my body or whatever, like, I need this. It wants this. Okay, I'm going to take that. It's the same way with food. Like, we've run the gamut of the diets and the organic. And yes, we cook from scratch, make bread, do all the stuff. Not all the time. I mean, my kid wanted to make mozzarella sticks and, tater tots today for lunch. And you know what? I said that was okay. And I'm the one that bought it at the grocery store because they asked me for it. I don't buy that stuff all the time. But it's one of those things, like, it's moderation, right? It's that balance that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And for me, like, if my body wants a candy bar, okay, I'm going to have the candy bar. Or if my husband brings me one because he's not all like on the health stuff all the time, right? I'm going to be grateful for that, and I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to enjoy every bit of it. And then I can go back to doing whatever I was doing, right? Because it's more about your mental state. Oh, I can't have this. Oh, I shouldn't eat that. Oh, that does a lot more to your body and your health than what you put in your mouth. Like, yes, that's important. I'm not saying that's not important, but your mental state and how you view things and how you view your body is more important than the actual stuff you're putting in your mouth.
Yeah, 100%. Believe it or I went through a little bit of a pharmaceutical journey in my 20s. Got rheumatoid arthritis and Graves' disease, then jumped on Dr. Joe Dispenza's work and been doing it for about 5 years. And was able to minimize the prescription of my glasses. I was able to see better, lost the pain in my forearms, and I lost 37 kgs just through meditation alone, understanding mind, body, soul, environment, and then just going back to Indigenous roots and understanding how we moved as Māori and Samoan and Polynesians over here, and the kind of kai, the food that we have here, and kind of going back to those roots as well, exactly the same how you're living, and then having this beautiful balanced life. Because some days we'll have headaches and we need to drink lots of water, and then some days we might have a Panadol because it'll get rid of it faster. I love the way you actually balance things, and it's because in my mind I'm hearing in the mainstream world how balance doesn't work sometimes, but it's almost like it's because it's in this made up formula or system where it can't be balanced. And then hearing about your holistic living and the neurospicy family and that balance is really awesome. Can you explain to us what neurospicy is? What is it and what that looks like in your home?
Neurospicy. So it's another word for neurodivergent, or people on the spectrum, or like ADHD, or like mildly autistic, or Asperger's, or things like that. My husband was diagnosed in middle school with ADHD, and I think I have a tinge of ADHD. I've never gone to get a medical diagnosis. So y'all can just throw this out the window if you want, but I'm going to tell you, I'm much more on the like Asperger's, like the whole like deep diving into stuff and like very hyper focused and whatever, much more on that route. So either like our kids either follow more like him or they're more like me. So it's very interesting for sure. And don't let me fool you. Like I've mentioned a little bit, like 7 kids, like some days it's every bit of crazy that you envisioned in your head when you heard Jazz say that I had 7 kids. Some days it's like that. And it's like, because we've got kiddos who are stimming or like doing, trying to regulate their nervous system, right? But then that triggers other people because that's too much for them. So but then there are plenty of days where we're, getting along, or like it's really great when I can get everybody's hyper focused, like situated like before Christmas, right? Because our son was coming home with his girlfriend on cleaning. Like, because when you get everybody lined up and everybody's hyper focused on cleaning, that doesn't happen very often. Like, amazing things can happen, But yeah, it's definitely not for everybody, and that's okay. I love it. There are days that I wonder what the hell I was thinking, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And then just one last question. You are one of the most credible people on Skool, in the Skool community. What's one favorite thing that you love about Skool, and what's one piece of advice for new people that are coming into Skool in 2025?
One thing first of all, thank you for saying that. It was very kind of you, because I'm just a human. I'm just a human doing here doing human things just like everybody else. But I really love Skool. I really love Skool because it's very simple for the user and the creator to use, right? And the people are fucking phenomenal. Like, whether it doesn't matter, like, any space that I've been in, like the main Skool community and the games community, and like every little, tiny corner of everybody's little universe, right? It's been amazing. Just the ability to be able to talk to, people that are just starting out and share your wisdom, right? Or learn from them, because newbies also have that wisdom, because some of us that have been in this for a while, we can forget what it's like to be a newbie, right? And so we need to always remember that they hold value too, and then you can talk to people who are on the same kind of like realm as you are, and you can talk to people that are beyond you, whether it's in, they know how to get traffic more, or they've been on Skool for longer, or like whatever it is, right? And everybody talks to everybody else like humans. Like, and there is no, like, in most places I've been in, there's not a lack mindset. Like a lot of other places on the interwebs, it's like, well, I can't give you secrets. I can't do that. I can't have you get me, in front of me, and, all of this tit for tat shit. No, here, like, we can cheer each other on, and we can, give each other like virtual hugs if shit's going wrong, and give each other advice and back and forth and all of this stuff, because we know that there's more than enough to go around, right? Because everybody's different. Everybody's unique. The way that I do things is different than the way you do things. It's different from everybody else on the platform that does things. And not everybody's going to resonate with me or you or anybody else. So there's always more than enough. And so that kind of mentality and atmosphere is why I'm so passionate about Skool, for sure. And then advice for newbies. I think just dig around. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Find some groups that you want to try out, and go for it. And don't give up. Like, just keep going. One foot in front of the other. Like, it's not, about the end goal. It's the next right step and the next right step. And if you don't know what the next right step is, find a place to get plugged in on Skool. And people will help you figure out what the next right step is.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for your attention and your energy, Sarah. How do people find you?
On Skool. So, if you can find me in the main Skool community, I'm usually on the leaderboard there. You can find me. The URL is skool.com/action is my free space for people who want to get started or get moving and grooving on Skool and ditch some mindfuckery and like have the support and the clarity and the accountability. Figure out your offer and your ideal client. That's the big thing for that group. And then I have a couple of other spaces too, whether it's people who have been doing entrepreneurship for a little while or want to have more gas poured on the fuel. More fuel poured on the fire. Sometimes my neurospicy brain goes too fast, and it's like words, Sarah. And then I help Skool owners that have been doing business or entrepreneurs that have built, 5-6 figure businesses elsewhere that they want to move to school, right? To create that experience and the culture. And it's not just about the sales and the results. You got to marry the results with the experience in your community. And that's what gets people plugged in and talking to each other and sticking around for the long haul, which is what's important.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, there we have it. And we'll put all of those links below. If you want to get in touch with Sarah, then please do skool.com/action. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Sounds good.